thought I'd do another video today. This one's kind of important. So, the world is coming to a stark conclusion that phasing out of fossil fuels absolutely must, and we must start now. Let's get into the video. A new report, the U.S. must stop extracting fossil fuel by 2031 to stave off, to comply with 1.5 degrees C. But I honestly think that we're at 1.5 C, and we're going to be passing it next summer or the summer after that. The report also concludes that the U.S. should put $97.1 billion per year towards helping poor countries with their energy transition. Now, here in the U.S., that's not going to be possible. And why do you say that? Well, because unfortunately, there are two parties, the Republicans and the Democrats here in the U.S. And the Republican Party does not believe in global climate change at all. They don't believe in global warming or anything like that. For an example, the Republican-controlled U.S. House of Representatives voted 221 to 197 to block a Biden rule to transition from gasoline to electric cars. The name of Congress is called H.R. 4468, and I'm just afraid because of situations like this where the Republicans are fighting to the absolute end to stop any kind of environmental controls, such as ending fossil fuel extraction or drilling or anything like that. They're for drilling. Trump just came out and said that if he gets in office, the first thing he'll do is he'll become a fascist dictator and will close down all borders in the U.S. and will drill. That's all he thinks about, is closing down the borders and drilling for oil. The report goes on to say, limiting warming to 1.5 C degree requires all countries to reduce their fossil fuel extraction and use starting now. Not tomorrow, not yesterday, now. Wealthy countries should phase out their fossil fuels within just 8 years. 8 years without being on fossil fuels. The Republicans will never put up with that. The annual global carbon budget report found that carbon dioxide emissions from the burning of fossil fuels reached a record 36.8 billion tons in 2023. That's a record amount of pollution that we put out. If human society continues to burn fossil fuel at current rates, again, that's current rates, there is a 50% chance of pushing temperatures constantly above 1.5 C in around 7 years. All countries need to decarbonize their economies faster than they are at present. The speed and scale of transitions required to move away from fossil fuel economies can look daunting politically in countries that are dependent on fossil fuel revenues to continue on, like the U.S. The report said no country should build any new infrastructure for extracting fossil fuels. So that means that all the drilling projects that Biden is agreeing to right now on federal lands here in the U.S. that he promised to veto and get rid of, and for the Willow Project up in Alaska, and all the pipelines he's okaying to carry oil and gas around the country, needs to stop, and stop now. We can no longer afford to go ahead with these projects. But something tells me that there will be no change, and the current rate of pollution will just go up and up. It will not stay at the current rate. It will just continue to climb as humans are taught that we must drill to fix our so-called broken economy, which I don't believe it's broken myself. I think it's just kind of stalled out and puttering along. But unfortunately, to do what we need to do, that may have to be one of the things that happens, is the economies putter out and the tax cuts to the wealthy have to end. And we must take care of the poor people at the bottom of the food chain, and our homeless population must be dealt with immediately to help control this problem. If anybody wants to try and fix the problem, they can call Congress at 202-224-3121 and tell them that you're not interested in the Republicans delaying or stopping any more environmental rules that have come up in Congress. We must continue to fight fossil fuels all the way to the very end. If we don't, we'll be at 2C within just a few years, I suspect. And that life will become very difficult because you won't have enough food to eat because you can't grow any food because it's too hot. And you say, well, we can just transition our farmland to the north, up into Canada and all that area. The problem with that is that those areas never had much vegetation to begin with, so there's very lousy soil to grow in, and you're not going to be able to grow food in the far north of any country, of any continent around the planet, because there just isn't any good soil to grow in. It's mostly rocky and gravelly, and you just can't grow food in that. So we're pushed up against the wall. What are we going to do on the left? What are you going to do? You're going to sit there and just say, there's nothing we can do? Well, maybe if we start by calling the number I gave you earlier, and start from there and see where that leads to, and get a hold of your local environmental groups and see if you can help them some way and become part of the solution of fixing the problem with fossil fuels and global climate change. All right, people. Well, it's going to be a busy, busy day today. Lots going on. The weather has cleared up. It was raining yesterday here in San Francisco, so we have to get out when the weather's clear enough to do something and take care of business. I appreciate any thumbs up you have, any new subscribers, and definitely any comments you have. I always appreciate those. Life goes on. Paul. And until next time.